Good morning, good folks. Good morning. Wherever you guys are joining us from today, welcome to FYI. Good to have you for your information. For your information, folks, welcome to FYI. We are so pleased and we're so privileged that each and every one of you are here with us. Guys, you know you are favorite folks. You guys are the real MVPs. And we'd rather spend our mornings with no other country folks than you guys who join us each and every morning here on FYI for your information. For your information only. Good to see so many of you already joining us. And you guys know we always encourage you to share the live, smash that emoji button, the HSL beat right at it, and Stacey and Stoll and Vanessa Andrews, Ayabo Natasha Congreve joining us from far away, in a land far away. Good to have you guys to share the live, smash that emoji, wherever you wonderful, beautiful folks are joining us from. You all know I, for one, not in the studio this morning, and we're going to be joined by the folks who are at that end. Lola, good to have you, Lola Lancaster, Bishop Hicks. Michelle Solomon is here as well, and Carlene Castang. And that's a nice name. Yep, that's a nice name. Claire, Alexis Chomley, Rich Manette, not to be left out. Good to see you, Claire, Linda King, Mark Allman. Good to have you, Edward Gonzalez. Of course, you know, Edward joins us from the Bronx. Folks, make sure that you share the live and you smash that emoji button wherever you beautiful folks are joining us. And we're making sure that we are patched through to all the right places this good Wednesday morning, folks. It's Wednesday, the 28th day of September. I'll be dreading Montana December. I am dreading Montana December because the bills watching we folks, the responsibilities of managing these programs, watching us guys, and we gotta pay those expenses. And so we encourage you, find a way in the man to partner with us so that we can go down the road. Yep. Y'all know we ain't got to big sponsors like some of the other folks, but we have you. And that's the most important thing. We have you, beautiful, fantastic, lovely people. And for us guys, that is the most important thing. And we're so pleased and humbled that you guys join us each and every morning. We could not ask for a better audience than you wonderful folks. We could not. We dare not. We dare not. You guys have been so fantastic and so encouraging, and we're so pleased and privileged, guys, that you join us each and every day. And FYI, our affiliates, we know the belt in the ring. You are so. You've been such a great audience, a great viewership. And we must say thanks. Dexter Daniels and Wanella Garnett, and we see also Sudhari Sukchan. Sudhari, good to have you, Sudhari Sukchan today. Good to have you folks. All the other folks who are joining us, whether you're at home in Guyana or you're joining us from around the world. Don Sullivan is here as well. Penelope Green, good to have you, Penelope, and Tommy Gibbs, and is it Norley Thomas, yeah, I hope I got that right. Mark Grant again, and Yolanda Thomas. All the Thomases are here. Leon Gorbadan. Leon, how are you doing? Good morning to you, too. Leon, if you know how I grew up, you know, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words, Leon, could never hurt us. So you go ahead and have a fantastic day. Nonetheless, your comments here. Kamal Prasad. Good to have you, Kamal. Kamal, are you back? I hear you might have been out. I miss you, I miss you. I'm jealous too. Jordan. Kabal, good to have you. Kabal is the Region 7 Vice Chair. It's the Region 7 Vice Chair, even though she don't like to be reminded ever so often. Region 7 Vice Chair, and she's doing such a brilliant and wonderful job. Folks down there in Region 7 or over there in Region 7, continue to support Kamal Prasad, excellent former Deputy Mayor of the municipality of Bartica, and now in the role of Vice Chair, doing an excellent job there as well. Naomi Drucker, how are you, Naomi? Good to have you. Naomi will tell me hello. She weren't but Penelope Green. So you all see, it's Penelope Green, Penelope Howard. Like things gone up. Besides the cost of living. Barry Crawford, good to have you. Fitzherbert Jerrick, good to have you, Fitz. I ain't seen a little while. We haven't seen a little while. I know some people like the behind the scenes. They rest quietly behind the scenes, guys, doing their thing, and perhaps Fitz has been one of those persons, but we're so grateful for having folks, mature folks like Fitzherbert Jerry out of Connecticut join us daily. It says we're probably doing a couple of things right. We're probably doing a couple of things right. Fitzherbert Jerry, retired now, and spends his time between church and leisure, and living life on his own terms. Now he's earned it. He has earned it. He has earned it. And we in jealousy, we got to put him your own time now. You and I got to put in our own time now. We're going to be talking to you guys a little bit about that this morning in one of the items that we're going to be focusing on. Put in your own time and you get the reward. And Fitzherbert Jerry, living his best life now. That's what you got to do. You work hard and then you reap the benefits on the other side of it. Living life on its own terms. Yeah. Aspire to be like that. Put in the hard work, and then you live life on your own terms. Fitz said, I watching very closely, and how he did what he did. How he did what he did. Fantastic work, Fitz. Candy Lillian indulged well enough. Candy here, the whole of Caribbean Skeleton, going to be behind her and joining her. Good to see you, Candy, and Marky, and all the kids too. Marky, how are you doing, my brother? Good to have you here as well, Marky. Pull up a cup of coffee with us. Margaret Nelson. Pull up a cup of something, a little porridge, little black tea. Things tight for a lot of folks. But guys, do what you gotta do and rock and come in. We're so privileged to have you. Kamal, good to see you. Good to see you. Yep. Kamal says the rate of the caring government not giving me little benefits, not giving me my little benefits. Yeah, they owe Kamal a couple things. Folks, they owe Kamal a couple things, right? And Kamal is a girl, she wants the things. Please, don't get your vexed. Ingrid Austin, good to have you, Ingrid. Really good to have you, Ingrid. And good to have all the other folks. June Chase, Warren Kagera, joining us all out of Long Island. Good morning, Warren and Ronald Worrell. Good to have you, Ingrid King, June Chase, and all the other fantastic folks who are joining us. I know Judy is going to be coming in very strong. And joining us in a couple seconds, ensuring she's powering her nose and ensuring that she's balanced. We're going to give her a nice up close, making sure that we look the same, we're on the same level. That's why we do things, It's not only about doing things. We got to know how to do things well. We got to make sure she has the same height with Mason. We're equals. If anything, she's better. She's my superior. Yep. Ronald Worrell, Yolanda Thomas, Beryl, Dainty, and all the other guys join us. Guys, you make this program and these programs one day. I know you haven't come to see me so much. You come to see Teresa, you come to hear about the issues and so on. Are you happy that when I come on, y'all stay, y'all run off? So Edward Brooms, telling us to keep Sue alive. Yeah, we forget. The man who has all the agreements, who handles all the agreements. Sue, the man who has all the support. Sue, same fellow. Yep. You don't sue and ask them for holiday. Yesterday, for the Warriors, whether it was a National Day of Prayer or otherwise, he would have got it, right? But it was the Private Sector Commission that asked. And they got the kind of pull that Sue got. Sue handles all the agreements, handles all the support. Yep. That's how it's going on. And whenever the good folks are ready, I know they're going to have Drita on. Whenever the guys at the back end are ready, they're going to have Drita on, and Drita's going to come and try to, try me this morning. Go right ahead, Drita. Go ahead and be great as soon as you're ready. Gwyneth Anderson is here. Hi, Drita, how are you doing?
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. How are you?
We're trying on this side of the Atlantic.
We miss you. My goodness. What's going on?
Good. You're saying all the right things because I want to be missed. You're saying all the right things there.
I see you on this morning at 8 o'clock sharp. I said, listen, this is Licks. Sure, going to pull out the wild key and you're going to be like,
yeah.
I'm not even here. I'm on at 8
Don't want to keep our folks waiting. And you know how we value them, how we value their presence. And some folks, they're between a tea break and still watching us. And we don't want to disappoint them with credible, valid information.
Yes. I see Lola Lancaster Bishop is on this morning. And I see Gwyneth Anderson don't like this music in the background at all. She says music is too loud. I hear you, Gwyneth. Good morning, Mr. John Jones. How are you
You
doing?
pulled it
It's your
down.
and I hope all is well. I see is it Candy Nalini in she says hello, hello, Jeressa. Good morning to you. You know, I have to say it like Candy. I have to attempt at the very least to say it like
Yeah,
Candy.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, and she has a special way in which she says it too, with that distinct
Yes.
voice. And you know what? I want to say good morning to the other Candy. The other
Yes.
Candy.
Yes. My goodness. So my
Respect and
friend Candy,
manners to the other Candy
she
as well. All these candies different,
out
different,
and about. They all have this huge personality.
different level of sweetness.
Yep. I see Kamal Passad is there in the comment section says,
Kamal,
good morning, my beautiful friend
Kamal is a
MP
candy herself,
Director.
a good candy too, real sweet candy.
Kamal is missing in action. Kamal, I hope all
Yeah,
is
yeah,
well
yeah,
at
yeah,
your
yeah.
end right now. Kamal is
Yeah.
out and
Let
about,
me tell you something,
crossing
Rita.
borders.
Some folks has left a bitter taste in your mouth, eh? But not Kamal, not the candies. Good folks.
They're
Good.
different.
Yep, yep,
They're
yep,
all different. I see Warren
yep.
Figueres in the house this morning as well. Good morning to you, Warren. I hope all is well at your end. Yvonne Ramisar, Reynold Warren, all of you good folks that's here with us this morning. I hope that you're
Good
having a
people.
splendid day. Still licking the wounds from yesterday, but I hope you're having a
Wow.
splendid day. Never,
Oh.
Shada got into a taxi yesterday. Kid you
Uh-huh.
not, I mean, we're gonna touch on it a bit. I got into a taxi yesterday, and I asked the guy what the score looking like. The man said, all due respect, madam, don't ask me nothing but a game.
You wasn't having it.
I said, oh, don't ask me nothing about a game. I told these people my heart, my emotions invested
Yeah,
is still,
yeah,
playing with feelings.
yeah.
I don't know
I,
what's
I,
going on.
I'd love to hear Warren's thoughts because I know he's a cricketer, Warren Ogira. I know he
Oh,
loves his
yeah.
cricket. But I
Don't
guard my
worry.
mental health, I guard my blood pressure, my cholesterol, and so on. Very jealously so.
Don't worry. We got
I didn't
this.
take
We got
setup. Unlike
today. We
you,
got
I didn't take
this.
setup.
Guys, I hope all of you have been doing okay. I hope that you've been careful. I hope that everything is good at your end. A lot of things still going on the roadways, sharing those things. I came here this morning and said we cannot help. I mean, sometimes we sound like we've been drilling at the same thing over and over, but we,
Yeah,
we have to continue when it comes to the way in which persons are using the roadways, because it's
yeah,
being used too chaotic and persons are just reckless, and we have to do better, people. So I'll continue to ask me if I don't even care if I sound like a broken record when it comes to asking you to be careful out there. We have to
yeah,
do what you have to do. We have to keep begging you and admonishing that you go out there and you utilize the road with care and caution and all of those things. Make sure that you do good, man. We don't
yeah,
want any of you to be in accidents and all of those things. Too many accidents happening out there. Too many
yeah.
persons losing their lives.
Adrian, I'm happy you
Absolutely sad.
mentioned that because one thing I've realized where I am is that people stop and give way to pedestrians. You know, people
Yeah.
seem to be a little more considerate than where we're from. You know?
Everywhere seems to be more. I've never been someplace that I found them as reckless as Guyanese drivers. It's crazy.
Mhm. Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
and
yeah,
we've been monitoring so many things in the papers, like certain things, even the bicycle lane. I mean, we're gonna come to all of that. But guys, let us just be careful, please. I
yeah,
beg.
yeah. Good to see so many of our usual folks joining us. Whether it's Isabella Butters and Gwyneth Anderson, I see Yvonne Ramasar, all the lovely folks, Jurito. We
Isabella
love to
says she
have
just
breakfast with.
arrived. Isabella
Mo-
different.
Very much so. The
Yes,
different
and
all
Ingrid
around.
King, good morning. Good morning to you, Ingrid King, and everybody else. Well, Shad, if we can rush into the morning paper, as I see we are good to go. The folks in the house, share the stream. Come on, do your part. You know how we
Yep, yep,
act every
yep, yep.
morning.
Yeah, looking
Share,
good
make
so far. We're looking good so far.
Yep. And if we can just run straight into the morning papers to see what is going on at that. And I see Roxanne Garway. I have to say good morning to you, Roxanne Garway, joining us all the way from Bartica region
And you
number
set up.
7. We're always proud of these folks when they're coming through, especially from regions in which it's absolutely difficult to get proper, stable in internet connectivity. So we know you guys invest a lot in just making sure that you have the resources available for you to join us, So we're very, very appreciative of your
Yeah, yeah,
presence
yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Some folks go out of the way and it encourages
Yeah.
you, Judah, I was telling the folks when we started, We have our own challenges meeting our responsibilities to keep the services, the internet and the
Yes.
lights on and the doors open to keep the programs going. But when you see how much people go out of their way to watch the programs, and when you meet them in person, they tell you how much the programs mean to them, you're so encouraged to keep going on.
That is correct. That is correct. And that's how you always get the energy to come out and do it again. That's how it is. You meet people, total strangers, and they said continue doing what you're
Yeah,
doing.
yeah.
It's registering with person. The message is resonating in person's mind, so you understand the importance of making sure that we're out here every single morning getting this work done.
Yeah, there was a woman when I was going through Barbados recently, who I was trying to fill up the little immigration form, and I saw her angling her phone, and she said, "Could I have a selfie?" And I said, "Sure." She said, I watch you every day, because of work and so on. You can't always comment and that kind of stuff because there's this palpable fear of a vindictive government, a vindictive administration. And I try to explain that to people where I am currently, and they seem to think it's bizarre, right?
Yeah.
That people would feel that kind of fear, one, and that there would be an administration who would go out of their way monitoring comments, monitoring how you operate, monitoring how people respond to you,
Yes.
to kind of marginalize, kind of discriminate against them. And those fears are real, 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 real fears.
Yeah, that is very true, and I didn't know it before that we did do meet persons on the road here every day that say they watch the program from work and so forth, but they can't comment. That's the usual thing, but we can't comment, but we can comment. We have to get to that point where that's not the case anymore. But
Yeah.
I just saw there Roxanne and Kamal catching up in the comment section, and I remembered I have to add this in before we go into the morning papers. I have to add this in. Only last
Attitude.
night. I was speaking to a woman, colleague of mine, quite a phenomenal person when it comes to doing the work on the ground, when it comes to politics and all of that altogether. But she was telling me that every time she watched the show, she would comment. She said, and when you call her name out, she said, when you call her name out, someone there that they lost contact with for years heard you calling out the name, and then they went into her inbox and message and say, "Are you whoever's daughter?" And then a whole family reunion there happened.
Good. Excellent. Excellent. We serve a purpose then. I was
Yes,
telling the
we
folks
are.
last night, it seems as though folks enjoy the comments even more than what's being presented.
Yes,
That's not
sometimes I notice
necessarily a
that.
bad thing.
How many
Whatever
of
we
you
can do
there in
to
the
help.
comment section catching up with persons? How many of you listen for names and they say, "Oh, I haven't heard from
That's
this
what I'm
person in
telling
quite a
you.
long time."
Watching it right now, nobody ain't really saying, "Good morning, Jarita. Good morning, Sherrod. How y'all doing?" No, 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 no,
We're
no.
speaking
It's
to each
hello,
other.
Candy. Hello, this buddy. Hello, Natasha. Hello, Ivan. Hello, Kamal. Nobody got time to we. We're just facilitators of the
Mhm.
comments.
I have to say
Conduits.
happy birthday before I even go out a little bit. Have to say happy birthday to my colleague there in our Region 7, Lucy Nato, my neighbor. Actually, I have to say special happy birthday to her. She's been doing well, a phenomenal job. We all just so grown up right now from kids we grew up together. So today's her birthday, and I hope she have a
Lucy, Lucy.
splendid day. I see Kamal there in the comment. Kamal there, French shirt. Kamal,
Yeah, very
Kamal.
much so.
Come on, so Jordan, today is a good day to remind people to put big respect when they speak about Bartical women. When I was a
Very
little
much
girl,
so. I want to
yes,
say a
yes.
special good morning to Wayne Matthew, who is joining us from St. Kitts and Nevis. Good morning, Wayne. Good morning.
Uh,
Respect and manners, Wayne. Wayne is a very helpful fellow. Just want to say that.
yeah.
And we got
Good
quite a
morning to
base
you,
in St.
Win.
Kitts and Nevis,
Good morning to you,
and
Win,
Wayne is probably at
indeed.
the forefront.
Yeah, and I want to, and thank you so much. Good morning to you, Wayne. I'm happy that you're here and all of that. Kamal was saying something, Shara, that she was saying it's a good day to put the respect to Bardical women, because when she was growing up, there was even songs that had derogatory messaging about women from Bardic and so. But as time progressed, women from Bardic have been changing. they've been changing the narrative because Bartica being the gateway to the interior and all of that, there was a whole lot of negativity when it comes to persons, women coming from Bartica, you know. But now it is way different, and you know, we're super proud of all the work and the hard work that women have been putting out throughout the time. I see Kamal there saying happy birthday to Lucy as well. I see one big happy family shirt, one big happy family.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You have yourself a shining example of a very bright, progressive women from Bartica. Sonia Noel, from Bartica
Yes.
as well. You have the young lady who recently won the pageant,
Amel.
Griffith.
Yeah.
Yeah, Amel Griffith. Kamal, of course, is among those elite folks. You have Judah.
We
Remind me
have
if
a
they're indigenous to Bartica. Those young women who own that fantastic boutique.
yes.
I'm trying to remember their names. Those beautiful girls.
The
You know,
Wyatts.
I beg
The
your pardon?
Wyatts.
Yeah, yeah,
Wyatt.
yeah, yeah,
The
yeah,
girls
yeah,
from That Look Boutique, and they've been doing excellent
yeah.
themselves.
Fantastic,
You know, their
fantastic
mother
women. You
raised
know,
three
you have
wonderful young
also
ladies.
Odessa
Yep.
Primus. I don't know if Bartigo owns Odessa the way she owns Bartigo, but
We do,
fortunately
we
or
do,
unfortunately,
we
our
do.
friend Odessa Primus is also from Bartigo. The jury's still out on that. The jury's still out on that. Whether Odessa, you know,
She's there, partition to the bone. No worry. But a lot of strong people. So Kamal, we thank you for that bit. But
yeah,
guys,
a
if
lot
we
of
go
good
into the
folks.
morning papers, share,
Yep.
share, share, share. You gotta do the symbol, man. You know I can't do it. I don't know what to do to
I
sing
have I have a
proper.
short I have a smaller space to do this one.
Make sure you
And
share,
smash
share,
that
share the
emoji button for
stream.
us too, guys.
Hmm.
Looking good so far. Looking good. Keep up the pace, folks. Keep up the pace. Jirida.
Let's run straight into the morning papers. Let us get down to what is going on, guys. We
Yeah,
have
well, I
to.
wanted to start. I don't know if it's the same at your end with your nose, but I wanted to start on the 4 new tourist attractions that have been added here. And I really want to say respect and manners to Brian Gomes and his, Judy might pick up the name faster for me, Annie Gomes. And here are two multi-talented folks, because and they've now made a foray into the tourism industry. And I really want to say kudos to these two young people for their Azure experiences, is the brand I think that they're building and doing a fantastic job. Annie, outside of that, also is into yoga in a big way. I've never seen somebody so flexible. If we ever had somebody who could win the gymnastics easily, is Annie Gomes. And Annie really, really and truly has embraced yoga as a way of life. I was planning on going to one of her sessions, but you know, time doesn't always permit. But I can eke out that time. And then Brian, I think, is into engineering where communication is concerned. He's also into photography. And now both
Yeah.
of them are behind Azure Experiences. And I was happy with this piece that they're involved with some other tourist operators to be offering a unique experience here where tourism is concerned. I saw some comments out of two, as I said, as an aside, out of the US, or comments attributed to the US ambassador, where she was saying that we need to innovate and expand, modernize, I think was the word I saw used, our tourism products, modernize our tourism products. And I think here is what where Azure Tours, among the other operators, are coming in. And recently, they launched what is being touted as a tour of the second oldest town, New Amsterdam, and a thrilling experience of camping above a waterfall. Yep, above a waterfall are some of the new tourist experience being offered to local visitors. And Brian and Annie are part of this. And I really want to say, as young people, how proud I am personally that they're getting their hands, they're making this foray into the tourism industry. But Jude, I want to say something else. While we're on this topic, too many Guyanese people, and it's kind of a culture we have. We walk and we dead. That's
Yeah.
all we do. We walk and we dead. You know,
Mm-hmm.
there are some people born in Georgetown, never left Georgetown, right? Literally never left Georgetown. Region 4, never left Region 4. And I'm certain it's the same some other places. But we have such a beautiful country, really and truly. You don't need to go any place else. And these tourist operators, this is nothing to do with the government. The government is just the regulator and the facilitator. These tourist operators are making it affordable more and more for Guyanese to see more of our own country. We ain't got to go no place, people. Really and truly, Guyana has enough to offer if you're on a budget, especially to see. And sometimes your own city, lots of us don't really know the history behind Georgetown, And that is why sometimes, where I am, how people celebrate their city, they know the history. I heard a man on local radio here talking about, the period of slavery and, where this country coming from and where it's going and all of that. We're not so inclined necessarily, but it's something that we gotta get in touch with, knowing our history, knowing from whence we came. And it's a very, very unique opportunity being offered. And I wish to God more Guyanese would take the opportunity to learn more about your country. I had a very eye-opening experience with, I can't remember the tour operator, but it was some island hopping to Fort Island, fantastic place. We had a stopover at that beautiful place next door to you all there in Region 7, Twitter. ROI.
ROI Whitewater Reserve. Yep,
Look, Island, all in one day. Fantastic experience. I see a lot of people do a birthday shoot for the birthday and so on, a photo shoot. Take one of these tours, see more of your country, get in touch with nature, get in touch with your history. And that's what I wanted to add with this bit, Jurita, before you come in, is that don't just work and die, right? But experience life. And here's a good way in which you can. And bring down your blood pressure and so on. And improve your mental health after the cricket.
Yeah. It's amazing for me to witness young people stepping out and actually go in and putting energies, effort, resources behind tourism development, because this is something we have to do. We have to be proud of where we're from, and we have to showcase what we have. And the flora and fauna, the natural habitat that comes within the borders of this country is yet to be explored. I can put it over like that. We are this is an absolutely amazing country. I speak about certain areas. I'm from Region 7, Bartica. Absolutely beautiful, amazing.
Yeah.
And then I go to Region 9.
Yeah.
And oh my God,
Rita,
I'm like,
I know
blown
you
away.
probably ain't got an inch of space to spare there, and if you do, it's so pricey. But Bartica somewhere, I would like to retire with a little piece of land overlooking that mighty river, the Essequibo River there.
Believe it or not, a lot of times people believe the further out, the further into the hinterland and the remote locations that you go, you're going to find lands very cheaper, which is very true in many cases. Bartica is
not
Bartica. Bartica is an exception. I'm telling you, land prices in Bartica.
I like a little piece, overlooking some books. I ain't want no phone. I ain't want them fancy things. Some books and some newspapers on a daily basis, and I good. I good. With the old girl.
Yeah. But I just wanted, if I could share it, I just wanted to highlight some of the things that that is being highlighted, because they're saying a tour of the second oldest town, New Amsterdam, and the thrilling experience of camping above the waterfalls are among the new tourist experience being offered to locals and visitors. And these are quite interesting. You're utilizing what is already there. You're advertising what is already there. You're putting Guyana out there on the map to all of these. There are millions of people out there who go seeking after these things. So it adds a lot to tourism.
There's a different way. There's
a different way the Europeans do it. I want to add one thing at this point. It's the fact that whatever you do, particularly in the service sector, guys, whatever you do, if you have a business in the service sector, make sure you do it to the optimal capacity. Make sure that you that you let your customers enjoy the best experience. There's a particular person, Gary Jordan, in Bartica. A lot of persons know him as Attacks. And I can tell you, he has been receiving this award for excellence when it comes to the boating service, because he put a boat in the water and he's not just doing the basic minimum to get passengers from point A to point B. He makes sure that the experience of the passengers traveling is always up to speed. He is at the helm of it. He makes sure that the seating he puts in, this is the only boat you can get in that there's actually car seats for you. So everybody have an individual seat. You can actually put back and recline your seat and all of that. You can plug in your phone and charge your phone. That speedboat. You know, you have soothing music listening to when you're waiting for the boat to load and all
Up
of
your
those.
game.
And he always receives that award from tourism, the Ministry of Tourism. He always receives that award because he is the only person sees it necessary to make sure that he has risen above the norm. And I have to say that, you know, all of us out there, once you have a business, make sure that you put the best into your business so you can be like him. Make sure that everyone wants to come to you because you give the best service. You know, we have horrible experiences in Guyana when it comes to the service sector. We have to do better. I note some companies, businesses have been stepping forward and they have been putting an effort into doing better, and I commend them. But the vast majority of the persons here have to put a lot of effort into making sure customer service is on top. So I just had to add that. And guys, everything, once you have people come into the country passing through, make sure that they see your business, your establishment as something that they're proud, that they want to, it's appealing to them, that they want to go to, and that we're proud to have as a Guyanese business.
Yeah. Right ahead, Judah.
Yes. But we're going to move forward. I'm going to let Sharon guide us topic by topic. I want to make sure that we're on the same page right now. But you
You
know,
know,
we move from one good to we move from good to bad. But it
yeah.
is what it is.
Yep. Because we're talking now about a murder accused. Some young people who have been accused of murder have escaped from this is the Sophia Holding Center there, and a teacher has been fired in the process. Whatever the investigations have revealed, but this should not be so in terms of people being able to escape so easily when you read the report. And definitely, I think the police are hot on their trail, and we got to fight for our young people. You know, as a point we raised quite recently when we talked about what the folks at Santa Rosa did in terms of bringing attention to a deteriorating education system there and a physical building, bringing some attention to that. We got to fight for our young people. Don't just give up and say, "Oh, your father was like that, uncle was like that, thief in his running family," and so on. No. Right? Them kind
Yeah.
of thing, you got to pray to skip a generation or plenty
Yeah.
generations. We got to fight for our kids. And when I read this, I was kind of
Right.
sad to hear young people, teenagers who are accused of murder, escaped. Well, the first thing is that they're accused of murder. That's number one. Like, there's a life in which teenagers should be living. I think it has nothing to do with taking the life of somebody else. Far from that, right? But our some of our teens are not doing those things, and you know, we got to continue to create an enabling environment as policymakers, as legislators, as a government, you know, as people in governance. We got to create that an enabling environment, and there hasn't been a better time now where you got such an inflow of cash into our country because of the oil and gas and all that. We got to create policies in that enabling environment. But really saddened my heart when I read, you know, young people accused of murder. I ain't even thinking about the escape. You know, because if you're accused of murder, running away and escaping can be, you know, not
It doesn't change it. Yeah.
something you shun at all. You know, but accused of murder, how do you get there? You know, but
Yeah.
it just tells that there's been such a breakdown in so many aspects of a family life. We got to really and truly build back those kind of guardrails, because good citizens going to be, you know, good employees, good leaders in government, you know, good politicians, good community people, and all of that, right? We got a lot of work to do, though.
And Sharon, I'm going to share a little story with you very fast because when we talk about this fire hole and certain persons escaping there, the first thing that came to my mind is I think this particular one is making the news because there are murder accused that have escaped. But I want to say that people have been escaping from that facilities forever. And I have to say that. And that's just not me saying that I heard somebody escape before and I heard people escape before. This is me talking from experience again, you know. And there was this one time, I'm gonna just wrap it up really in a nutshell because it could be a very long story, but I'm gonna just put it very quickly for you guys. I was heading home to Bartik. I was going home, and I stopped at the snack it, M&M snack it, to grab something just before you cross over the bridge, and I saw a little child there. and he was asking me for something to eat, and he looks very little. So I'm like, I've tried to I opened a conversation. Well, my entire trip home just went canceled because basically he had no parents. He gave me a story that his mother is dead, his father had murdered his mother, and then his father committed suicide, and basically he's on the street, and he's been there for a while. So obviously I can't just leave a situation like that. Like, I don't know what it was before. So I am there now at child protection and all sorts of things. And then they said that there's a record of this child. He's always been like escaping from them and all of that. And then the only way place they could put him, but he was actually a teenager, but he was very small because he was malnourished and all of those things. So he went over to that very facility. The next day, I'm asking them if they can contact their relatives or so. They said they don't know how to find the relatives. And so I myself had to get on the phone and call around to find out. And I spent about an entire half of a day just contacting persons trying to get to a relative. And I did find a sister for him. And I'm telling you, if I had left it, nobody would have been doing that, because apparently people just put things down and be done with it. The
Yeah,
child was sick and all
yeah.
of those. But he went
Just
over
a
to
name
that
on a
facility.
folder.
Yeah, he went over to that particular facility, and I learned the next day. I went to the agency because I wasn't going to just drop it. I went there to tell him that I found his sister, and because when I got over there to child protection, they said that oh well, a bit of bad news that he escaped from the Sophia Holding Center the night before. So that was a whole episode, and then I had to
Wow.
go deal with that, and then we had to get him back and all of that. So it was like an entire week of me just putting everything down and just going out there and doing the work. A lot of times this work is done. For me, when you see we do these things, I don't like to, and this is the first time I think I'm publicly speaking about this matter, because I don't like to showcase people's struggle, and because it's difficult sometimes for you to actually let those things go. It's difficult for families that can't pull themselves together to take care of children and all of those
Yeah,
things. But those facilities shared, and this is what I'm getting to, there is a lot of work and a lot more resources that needs to be put into those facilities, because there are young people that's there that is really suffering. And I have to say that there are persons working there that have been doing a phenomenal job. And if you can remember, very recently when CSEC results and so were coming out, there were a lot of the students that were being highlighted because they've been doing their schoolwork and they've been doing their studies and all of those things. So we have to keep pushing for young people. And this is sad that to see more accused persons being held there and so forth. But I think we need to have a lot more division and separation of how persons are handled there. But kudos to the persons that work with those young
yeah,
people. And I
yeah,
have to say that big respect to all of you. I have to say
yeah,
that more resources from the level of government needs to be put into making sure that those young people are rehabilitated and be able to live very meaningful lives in society. But we have a long way to go. And there are tons of children on the streets right about now. There are
yeah,
tons of children just making a living and trying to carve out a space so that they can survive as is. So we need to do better and don't fail those young people as we move forward.
yeah. I hope the folks because that kind of system is dedicated folks. I hope they're not like the folks at housing in Region 3 who've been accused of 9 o'clock in the morning and they don't work.
Wow.
You come at 8:30, 9 o'clock, you don't work. People can't get access to the services. This kind of system where young people are concerned, where they're being cared for and rehabilitated and groomed and all of that, it needs people who are dedicated, who have a love and passion for it. Yep. And while we on that, folks, we're also looking at a case where a Guyanese fugitive, Orlando Evans, has been killed in Suriname. Fled to Suriname. He and his brother were wanted for some crimes here, and he found a habitat in Suriname and got into an argument quite recently with someone and was stabbed to death. They say if you live by the sword, you know, you die by the sword.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and there, as I was growing up, I heard of lots of instances in which people trying to flee the long arms of the law here locally in Guyana, that they would escape and go across the border into Suriname. I don't know. There are a lot of speculations of persons that went over there and all of that, but this person was actually there. So because now
yeah,
he
yeah,
lost
yeah,
his
yeah.
life
Met his
there.
demise in this fashion.
you can run as far and wide as you want to.
Yeah,
Things always come full circle.
yeah,
That is something that I personally believe in. That things always come full circle, and what goes around comes around. Life is like a seesaw. One time you're up, one time you're down. All of those saying, I adhere to them, and I live my life in such a way that I can face whatever it is coming, because I try to do good so that good things may eventually come around back
yeah,
to me when I need it most.
yeah, yeah. The good you do, the good book says, come back to you in this life, not in the next. In
Yeah,
this life, is getting back. And I'm thankful for that. I see a lot of good come back to me in this life,
yeah,
and I'm grateful for that. The great civil rights leader, Martin Luther King, Dr. Martin Luther King, says that the moral arm of the universe is long, but it bends towards
yes.
justice, bends towards justice. And that's what we're following some of the issues making the morning papers. Frida?
That is correct. Now we can go straight into the morning brew. I've
Yep,
been
yep,
monitoring the
yep.
comments. Don't worry, guys. I'm seeing you. So,
Yep, yep, yep. See what's brewing out there. Next door, next door. You got a lot of things brewing next door. Those guys got an election that's impending, and they're telling us that Lula Inacio de Silva, he has widened his lead, good folks, over his opponent Bolsonaro. Who reminds a lot of people of Trump, much like some folks we got on the ground here. He has widened his lead. Alex Boom widened his lead. Mayville Schultz and Lennox Amsterdam candied the lead. He has opened the lead on Bolsonaro ahead of the Brazilian vote. Yep, that's coming up. Pretty interesting what's happening there. Lots of energy. Lots of energy. Drita?
yeah, I think I saw this coming for a while, because we have been covering bits and pieces of the news that leading up to this where it is right now. And I don't
Mm-hmm.
see it taking I don't see it taking a swing, a turn, or anything. I see it going through as is. I see the lead widening, moving forward, and that he is going to be the elected president. I don't see it going any other way. So
Yeah.
I've been noting, and there is one thing. There is a wave of support that has been thrown behind him right now from the people, and you need nothing different when you
People
are
don't like
in that
erratic.
position.
We got some
You got
erratic people here, and Bolsonaro seems very erratic. And I think he belongs in that Trump era, which is in the past. I think that's precisely what we're going to see. We spoke about yesterday morning. We said that the Americans have already signaled that they're going to be very swift in declaring who the winner is. Not that it matters, because if you have an electoral system, it's what is on the ground that matters, what they say that matters. But the Americans said they will be very quick to recognize who they see as the duly elected president. And we were made to understand, too, that the women vote is very critical here, and also the Protestant, am I calling it right? Uh, Pentecostal protest evangelical vote. Yeah, I know this is one of those. Evangelical vote is going to be very pivotal here, and quite strangely, they're saying that Bolsonaro has a lot of support with the evangelicals in Brazil, but that seems as though it's going to be an important voting bloc. And in addition to that, also they said they are seeing a record number of women running for office also in this election here. The aside to that is that when we talk about evangelicals, the church in Guyana, whether it's Pentecostal, it's evangelical, it's Catholics, the church, whether it's a Muslim or Hindu, make up are the largest NGO, Drita. But that weight isn't really brought to bear on social issues as much, and political issues as much as it should. As it should, in the US and clearly in Brazil. You got to go and talk to people properly, the evangelicals and so on.
Yes.
Right?
The voting block
Yeah.
it's large. I can say that when it comes to religion, and that's why sometimes I call out the churches, because and I specifically call out churches because I'm Christian, because I know how elections are done in our
Yeah.
country, and the
Treated
lobbying
7 days.
that
I
is
see
done
that
at the
pan.
level of the church. So I understand it completely, and that's why I call it the church, because you can't allow yourselves as a body, as that huge representation of people, and you can't allow yourself to be lobbied, and then when the rubber hits the road, you're not making representation to the people that came and lobbied you. when it comes to elections. So that's why I call them out. So I
Yep.
understand completely that those voting blocks are absolutely necessary. They control the narrative that is being pushed to a significant number of people, if I could put it like that. So I understand where that is going, but like I said, Lula, in my view, is I don't see going any other way. Is that gap is going to continue to widen as it goes as we count down the days to the election, and I see that he's going to come out victorious.
Yep. Moving on, folks, and going a little further north, the Canadians are signaling. That there are going to be some reprisals for this action of Russia in Ukraine. This sham referendum where these territories they claim have broken away from the Ukraine and recognizing Russia and Russia bringing them into the fold as their territory. Canada has signaled that they're going to impose new sanctions over this quote unquote sham Ukraine referendum. Lots happening on the international scene. Lots happening on the international scene, folks.
Yeah. Well, the only thing I have to say about that, Sharon, is that this is not going to be something that is going to end anytime soon. So that's the only thing I have to say about it. Every single day, we're going to see something new, and here we see that Canada is doing their bit there, and a lot of countries are stepping forward when it comes and stating a position when it comes to the issue between Russia and Ukraine, with the war that Russia has basically started there in Ukraine. Call it what you may. That's how we see it. But Shad, one of the things that we have to continue to look at is a spin-off when it comes to the way in which persons, the language that has been used from other world leaders as the time progressed. I think I've been paying a lot of attention, even here in South America, as to our
Mm-hmm.
neighbors and how they have been operating. Because Guyana, we have our own issues at home. So when I
Our
hear
own
people
basket
talking
of
about
issues.
using correct maps and all of those things, I say like these people trying to, they're listening to other things.
Correct,
So
correct. And I'm
we have our own issues at home here, but this matter is not going to get any better. I don't see it getting any better. I see it just at the tip there to just tip over, and we have to be very careful. And then, like Amanda said, yeah, like diplomacy is the way to go. 2022. This is not back in the days you just go and you shoot out and you kill out a bunch of people and you solve matters like that. 2022, we're hoping that we are at a place that diplomacy will be the way in which we solve issues. So that's all I have to say about that.
great. Some of the things we're tracking closer, as you mentioned, home closer in the region, we're following what's happening with Cuba, and they have been out of power for a couple of hours, and the Hurricane Ian is to be blamed for that, bearing down right now in Florida. And the folks there saying, I was listening to some meteorologists on this and some international commentators, that this hurricane could be the worst hurricane Florida has ever had. They say it has that potential, and which means it could be really bad for Florida. It could be really bad. They're bracing it over in Florida, and we want to say to all of the Floridians and our Guyanese brothers and sisters who resides there, hold straight, folks. Brace it over, hold straight and
Yeah.
brace it over. Treat them.
Oh my goodness, I feel it for the persons over there. We had a very, very small issue here in which we had that freak storm, as we refer to it, and we had persons losing their homes. Just imagine that at a different magnitude, the
Yep.
devastation that would be
A
felt.
hundred
We
times
can't
worse.
handle that. We can't handle that, so we
Yep.
feel it, and
Yep.
we hope that the support is given to those persons so that they can actually get things done. We have a lot to be thankful for in Guyana when it comes to not facing those natural disasters and things like that.
Correct.
You
Correct.
get up, you thank God, and we hope that we never have to go there. We hope that we never have those situations, because Lord knows we had just a little issue the other day at Beirut
Yep.
there. And what happened? Hardly anybody could, at a level of government, actually put out their hands
We ain't
and
ready.
assist in any way
We ain't ready
proper.
yet.
I'm yet to hear about the assistance that was given. I may be missing it. Let me just say that. But it was very slow. So you can imagine what would happen if we have those things. Thank God
Correct.
we don't have
Correct.
those things.
The
I'm not
folks
going
at
to be.
Providence and Peters Hall were flooded out. No fault of their own by the door there for the coker wasn't functioning well and should have been if had been given sufficient attention by the administration. but they didn't receive any help, from the administration either, and they were quite stunned by that. They were tremendously flooded, lots of damages, and nothing, no word from the administration on that front. But as we still regionally, Jurita, right up your alley, the Trinidadian budget was read quite recently by Colin Imbert, the Minister of Finance there. 56.1 billion TNT dollars is 30 to 1. I think maybe somewhere between 28 and 32. I haven't checked the specific exchange rate, but that's the exchange rate. 30, let's say 30 to 1. And a lot of Trinidadians are crying out. Fuel price gone up. A lot of things. I heard one woman characterize it in this way. She said, everything that they took the tax off for COVID has come back, plus some more on it. Plus some more. Well, you're paying for COVID. Plus. Right? And that's the situation. And a lot of folks saying this is not a pro-poor, it's not a people's budget. That's what we're picking up. That's what we're picking up. Drilla, up your alley. Take it away.
But all the reports, well, I can say that I personally have not examined the budget per se, but I have been following the reports that are coming out. I have not examined their budget, but I have been following the reports that are coming out, and everybody is saying the same thing, that it doesn't seem to be a pro-poor budget, and persons are actually, especially when it comes to transportation. And one of the things that I see being listed here, and also Starbucks News picking up on it, is that that senior citizen will have to pay $50 or more, they say, for return ferry tickets and so forth. So they have been tracking it, and and everybody, all the reports are saying that they're not really seeing the real benefit that is going to benefit the poor people there. And we always say, when you're looking at budgeting, you're not doing anything as a government if your budget does not assist persons, the most vulnerable in society. And when persons are reporting they're from the country, they're living there, they say they're not seeing that, then I have nothing. I have no other assessment that I can make. I have to go by what the people say. Like I've said, I haven't examined their budget page by page and line for line, but that is what the report has been. That has been coming out every single news agency. I haven't seen a positive one, with the exception of government, of course, but I haven't seen independent media actually giving them any tap on the back for this budget. A lot of persons expected better. That's what I can say, and they haven't seen that.
Correct. And those are some of the issues we are following internationally, some of the issues we're following in the region. And as we come closer to home, oh boy, I think that's where we go downhill. We can stop right here and in the morning, quite okay, but then we gotta come home. And then you see about reporters being charged for conspiracy to extort, conspiracy to extort a businessman. I mean, if this is true, these are the allegations. If this is true, it's a dark day for journalism, where you create. I mean, if them guys doing it internationally with global wickedness and so on, why not, eh? But it would be a dark day for journalism if you create a certain narrative in which a business fears that they could lose customers and so on, only to extort from the business. If we take it down, you got to pay me XYZ. Those are some of the things you're hearing as part of the allegations here, and it's very, very, very sad situation here. Very, very sad situation.
I'm going to say one thing on this matter, because I did touch on it a little bit, I think on Monday, I think, I can't remember. Nevertheless, I'm going to add one thing, and one thing alone, is that when we come on these programs, when it comes to any bit of media, we always, there's something that we take pride in, and when it comes to credibility of information and all of those things. And I always say that we examine the details and we look for the facts before we even bring a conversation to the front. I have been noting all of the allegations that was made in that particular matter, the individuals involved, and the allegations that they themselves have been said to have made. And I'm choosing my words very, very carefully. But I have to say that that it's strong allegations when it comes to extortion and all of those things. So we, as a society, those are not things that we should be, that nobody wants to hear about persons here, because I do believe that those reporters who were attached to different news agencies before that would have done a whole lot of good work prior.
Yeah,
I know I recognize one particular name there that I know was doing work and writing and making somewhat of a good name. So it was very disappointing for me to have to read that, but there's allegations. We always say, like we say about every other matter, the allegations are allegations, and it needs to be heard before the court of law, and the truth needs to come out, because the Guyanese people just deserve the truth at the end of the day. So we're going to continue to follow this. I did say that before. We're going
yeah,
to continue to follow it and see how that story unfolds, because uh,
yeah, yeah. A lot to be desired there. In other news, let me help you with it. In other news, the party deck done. The party deck done for the carnival party that's going to end up here on the seawall. This is just off of the Vicinjan Road pump station. This party deck that has been built by the seawall for the purposes of hosting a party there after the CPL. And we're being told that you got some names of artists who are coming in for this party here, include Michelle Montano and Spice. They are some of the headliners for this cricket carnival super concerts that are going to be held, and that's what they're telling us. The deck finished construction. Yep, yep. It's amazing how things can go very fast when people want them to go very fast. It's very amazing. It's very amazing, right? But a school, that need a lot of attention. 2 months they had, 2+ months to get it right, all during summer. And parents and teachers have to come out and protest. Right? But to build a party deck, you could get it in 1 week. 1 week, full stop. Nothing against the activity, nothing against the party and so on. But it's just to show how things can be done if there's a political will to have it done. What I say that.
let me tell you what's going to happen after that. I have,
Vagrants and such, dogs and
my walk, my walk towards where I'm right now, all the steps that I took towards getting into parliament. It started from the level of the local government setting, and I can tell you that that is the building of that specific deck. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen now. We're going to have the ministry is going to be packed with persons going in there and asking why they can't build a deck for permanent business, and why they can't do this for permanent business. And everybody's going to want to go and build something out there now to do permanent business. So I want to see how they're going to maneuver with that a little bit, because we do know that when it comes to those things, they have been known to make a lot of on the spot and sort of reckless decisions as to how they plan with those things. But once you give permission to one person to do something like that other persons are going to come and be asking for the same type of leverage to get things done. So I know that's going to be happening if it hasn't started already. But I do have the question as to whether or not that piece of structure there is going to be left there permanently, and if it's going to be left there permanently,
that's
who's
permanent.
looking at it and all of that.
That's permanent, and for those folks
even for paraphernalia put on like poles and so persons don't take that thing down and fall down on its own. So I want to see how they're going to move forward with that.
The opponent is going to come out and say, this is the day that the Lord has made. You get a pavilion. You get a pavilion. You get a pavilion. You get one,
That it's different. It's different.
That's what's going to happen. Yep. But in addition to that, some other things we're following. Our boy Todd, Chirita, your boy Todd. A man's a boy Todd.
Man, I don't like how you always just put people over on me.
He's hopeful of solving this Suriname fishing license issue.
I think hopeful is a key word there.
Right? The famed leadership expert John Maxwell, he says it very simply, Chirita, very simply and profoundly. He said, hope is not strategy. Hope is not a strategy. 4 words is not 4 words. Hope is not a 5. Hope is not a strategy. We in the maths, yeah? Right? So Todd is hopeful. And we can deal with this in the big issue as well. So we can circle back to it. Hope is not strategy.
Hope. That's the only word that hits you. If
He's
this
hopeful.
man is hopeful, I don't know if he's hopeful and prayerful and all of those things, but
Yeah.
he's definitely not saying that they have a
Yeah.
plan and they've been meeting and they are at a point at which there's resolution in sight. We're not hearing that, so definitely I don't see any resolution being had there. But the real issue there, the real people that are being affected, it continues to suffer because they are fishermen out there that their families have nowhere else to depend
Yeah.
on for finances so that they can actually feed themselves and their children at the end of the day. And that's the real issue that we're talking about there. If
Rick
persons
is
can't
right.
go out there and actually do the economic activity, in this case fishing, then family, several families are there on the breadline, and no help and assistance is really in light. They're not seeing that in the future when you say that, oh, we hope that it's going to happen. That doesn't do anything for the families that are left there with children looking for food, that money is not coming in. So that's the issue.
Yeah. He hopes, he hopes, he hopes, he hopes. And Joetta, right up your avenue, right up your avenue. The IMF telling the government recently that they got to be cautious of this money coming in and how they spend it. They're telling us they need to have some structural changes and some other things. The economic growth that is pegged at 50 something percent and so on. We've talked about this countless times in our program that this big GDP and mean nothing. The big GDP and mean nothing. As a matter of fact, the IMF said in its reporting on this, the IMF talked about flagging volatile oil prices as part of the risk that exists with our newfound wealth, volatile oil prices. And it also talked about the possible difficulties the regime can have managing this resource. And we have known them, the possible quote unquote difficulties in managing the resource as some of the risks that are at stake. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, well, what the IMF is saying, something we've been saying from the very beginning. We have been admonishing, we have been speaking in the level of the National Assembly, also outside on all of these programs. We have been asking that they put systems in place to manage properly. We are saying consistently that they are not doing that. We're saying that it is so bad, and this is one of the things that we have to go back to. It is so bad right now that nobody in Guyana knows what the resources from oil are being utilized for. This is how bad it is. So
So
how do
much
you
for
even get to
transparency
a point?
and
Yeah, how do
accountability.
you get to a point that you manage these resources properly when the government, the PPP government, put a system in place so that you wouldn't even know what the resources are being spent on in the first place? Because as is, when the money is withdrawn from the natural resource fund, it is put into the consolidated fund and mixed with every other bit of money there. So when they withdraw from there, nobody can go and say, oh, well, you're using this money from the natural resource fund to
Yeah.
fund this particular project and these
Yeah.
things. So we are a long, long way from getting to a position that we're going to be actually able to track the resources. And this is an issue, right? Guyanese, sometimes we take things for granted. As the supporters of the PPP, sometimes they try to defend things that are not defendable, and this is one of those things. You cannot defend using monies to do things and the people not knowing where the oil money is being used. That is
Yeah.
absolutely unacceptable.
Yeah.
Let me say that first and foremost. And this is what they're talking about. We know when it comes to the volatile oil prices, well, that's a given. We know all of that. But the biggest problem we have here in Guyana is not knowing at all what the money is being used for. We don't know
Correct.
at all. It is
Correct. And
not
I wonder
there. It's
why.
not
Maybe it's because they
transparent.
got certain elements that are involved in the process who don't like accountability, good governance. You got a lot of people who want to invest in this country who can go invest office, right? But some people don't like that kind of transparency. No, no, no. You got to come in the living room and so on. They like the murky back room, living room kind of deals and so on that don't argue well for this country. And, the peeping Tom, we're going to talk about that in a column he has out, peeping Tom. In the big issue this morning, we say Big Mo Jack Dio putting me in problems with Suriname, putting me in a lot of problems with Suriname. Yeah, Big Mo Jack Dio putting me in problems. Twitter putting us in problems, and uh, uh, peeping Tom, the column didn't suffering fools gladly this morning at all. Didn't suffering fools gladly, and that's what we want to talk about as part of our discussion. The big issue this morning, what they said, and this is the Peep and Tom column. I said we circle back on the third issue with Suriname. And this is what Pippin Jam said on that front, folks, which concerns Suriname. The president should distance himself from Jack Dio's remarks. It says that Irfan has a responsibility, but if there's no other position than Jack Dio's position, what is Irfan going to distance himself towards? What's he going to distance himself towards? Here's what the column says, Pippin Tom. Just today, Jack Dio knows a thing or two about failed diplomacy. Remember, he's saying that the overtures to Suriname on the quarantine river fishing license issue, it has been a diplomatic failure. Now they got to go to other channels. So they're going to CARICOM. But Pippin Tom say, isn't that diplomacy at work too? Just in case we're certain, isn't that diplomacy at work? But the column goes on to say, Jack Dio knows a thing or two about failure since he's talking about failed diplomacy. When Suriname expelled Guyana, waters, a vessel contracted to CGX from the Guyana waters, Jack Dio efforts at resolving the matter diplomatically failed. He's a man who understands failure. Everything he touched, he got even asked touch it all. They said that effort failed. It failed. He was forced then to take the matter to the International Tribunal for the Laws of the Seas Convention, which after many years finally ruled in Guyana's favor. That column goes on to say Jack Dio had better luck with Venezuela. A number of important agreements were reached, including the signing of the Petro-Carib agreement, but Venezuela opposed the establishment of a space launch center in Guyana. And one of Jack Dio's pet projects, he's got a lot of them that failed, which failed to lift off. Yep, that failed too. Right? It goes on to say, in addition to that, Charita, Jack Dio was awarded the title of Champion of the Earth for his efforts at climate change. But after the failure at Copenhagen, where he was hoping for greater progress, right? He was hoping for greater progress to monetize standing forests. Jack Dio's international star pitched. So much for Champion of the Earth. The international star pitched. And finally, that column says, Irfan Ali is seeking to reignite this issue again, the Copenhagen issue. He too will fail because his foreign policy is operating in the shadows of Jack Dio's own failed initiatives. And you can take that to the bank. Rita.
It's very true. I have to say, and that's why I did say I was a whole lot disappointed, particularly when the administration, the PP administration took office and they went back to the low carbon development strategy. Let me just start from that point and wanted to actually basically discard a document and a plan that was more superior to the LCDS, with the Green State Development Strategy there.
Yeah,
it is not. I think that's I think that Bar Jack Dio himself, because I can't quote him right now, but he did say, I'm going to paraphrase what he did say, and that it was when he spoke at the International Energy Expo that was held in Guyana recently. When he spoke there, he started off by saying that, when he's done speaking, they may want to rethink or to take back this champion of the earth thing, because what he is about to say may go against all of those principles. And he was correct. He was correct about that, and I think the person should have heeded what he was saying and actually just take that back, because you can't eat your cake and have it, if you can put it over like that, because he went from one extreme to the next. He went from saying protect the environment to say drill all the oil now, right? So it is cheese to jock, and the persons beneath to acknowledge what is going on there. But I think he has been very careless with the way in which he has been speaking. We did see it start there with his remarks when it comes to Trinidad first, and that had a lot of attention being
Trinidad
given.
fall apart,
Yep, correct. And now we see the comments being made there as regards to it. I'm saying, instead of helping the situation, instead of putting the diplomatic front, he has been doing totally opposite. I think he's at a stage in his life where he just doesn't care. He don't think that he needs any validation or anything, so he just doesn't care about how how he speaks and how it is done.
True,
But he's
true.
completely harming the efforts of the Foreign Office here in Guyana, the very little efforts that they make in the first place. He's
Yeah,
completely harming those efforts being put forward. The technical people have been doing an awesome job with trying to hold things together, but they have persons there that like him and the minister, if I'm to be specific, that really is doing more harm than good. When it comes to air finale and the fact that Pippin Tom is saying he should distance himself, I don't know if there's little bit of working there. So I'm going to be cautious in the way in which I actually address that. Lots of times we see things in the media and narratives being pushed that have an underlying agenda that's beyond your imagination. I have
yeah,
been noting, and I'm going to end my comment on that. I have been noting Air Finale out and about trying his best to distance himself from everybody and trying to create an image for himself, because I think he is fully aware that the cabinet that he is with, he didn't select those persons and all of
yeah,
those things, you know.
yeah,
Well, that is how it is. So he's been
yeah.
trying to distance himself, but you don't distance yourself by still trying to follow up on failed policies that has been identified there in that article. You cannot distance yourself from an individual if you are trying to hold on to a failed policy that they were trying to achieve there. So I don't know how that's going to work for him,
Correct,
but it is
correct.
what it
You
is.
know, Peeping Tom writes a lot of nonsense sometimes, and then there's this was a good piece making the point that Jagger needs to move completely out of the way and bringing
Yes.
the foreign affairs professionals to do their work. The foreign affairs professionals, foreign affairs, foreign relations takes time to build, to what do you call it, to massage and so on these issues, and they're not overnight successes. He needs to move out of the way. That's the point that the article makes, and it goes on to say that political lackeys ain't gonna solve this. I said for that, ouch. You know, political lackeys ain't gonna solve this. Ouch for that. The
Yeah,
professional
they do
need
more
to
harm
come
than
in.
good. Yep, they've been doing more harm than good,
Yeah,
and that's the sad reality.
yeah, yeah. That's all for my end, guys. That's it for us in this end, I suppose. Julia, you want to add anything else?
I don't. I just want to say to the folks, thank you for joining us. So make sure that you share. You know, how much
Yeah,
is it
yeah,
you here
yeah,
with us?
yeah. Carla
Come on,
Peters
share,
and
share, share.
Sheila Boyd Child, Naomi Drucker. I see Maureen Carpenter Williams and all the other folks. Thanks for joining us. We're going to see you guys later on in the day as we progress on the other platforms, on the other programs. Guys, stay safe, and partner with us. I started this morning begging you all, be in bad shape, right? But we want to keep on doing what we do because we have a passion for it, and we depend on you guys solely to keep us moving forward. Thanks for all of your support and thanks for your love. It means the world to us. Julia, final word goes to you.
Warren in your business right now. Warren, so where is Shard locked in from?
Yeah, I just lock in. I lock in.
He's locked in, guys. He's locked in. Don't worry if it's weird. All right, guys, have a great day, and we're going to see you back here tomorrow morning. Shard is going to be seeing you back here tonight, and I'm going to be seeing you back here tomorrow morning. Have a good
Awesome.
day.
Awesome. Stay safe, guys. Stay safe.